Hey guys, so I'm standing in front of my fireplace and I think you can see, there you go, the two mounted staghorn ferns that I've put up there. And as you guys know, I've been spending a lot of time and energy focused around kind of styling my plant space and just creating some really cool design features and things that are very aesthetically pleasing and kind of pop and incorporate obviously all of the plants here. So I had this crazy idea and I want to make the portion of the fireplace and the wall above the mantle more of a feature in this space, and I've got some kind of inspiration online. So I'll throw up a couple of images of what's kind of inspired me, but push come to shove, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to do is create a whole space above this fireplace here, using the staghorn ferns and some other epiphyte type plants, maybe some air plants, to create a sort of mosaic of plant plaques and really draw your attention and your eye to above this by using different shapes and repetition and creating new plaques, and kind of, I might even like paint them or stain them. And I think it's going to look super crazy amazing when it's all said and done. Yeah, so I think the first step is kind of clearing out the space. Then I'll show you what it looks like with just the staghorn ferns, and then I'm actually going to remove those, and I'm going to start this whole process by using some masking tape and kind of use the masking tape to space out and create the different shape plaques that I want to mount, not only these two staghorn ferns, but maybe one of my Rhaphidophora hei, maybe some air plants that I have, and just create this very cool feature wall above the fireplace. Let me get started, and I'm so excited for you guys to tag along and see what this all looks like in the end and how it turns out. Alright guys, so as you can see on the mantle, I have these plants in pots, resting here, and I'm going to clear that off. And I've so far had these two staghorn ferns mounted on these round plaques. I did a whole video about it. So these are going to come off, and like I said, I'm going to start with some masking tape to space out and shape out these new plaques that I'm going to create using cedar board. So let me clear all this, I'll be right back. So this is what it looks like without any of these plants on the mantle. And you can see it goes right up to the ceiling. It's kind of hard probably to tell the scale, but it is a pretty big space. Now I'm thinking I want to leave these first three boards, 1, 2, 3, this whole space clear, and create my whole grid of plaques in the upper space. And the reason for that is if we want to put anything on the mantle, then by leaving that 3 boards worth, there'll be space for us to do that. And there's still so much space up here for me to create a whole grid of nice looking plaques using some cedar board. So I'm gonna go ahead, remove these, and get some masking tape and tape out the different shapes and sizes of the plaques that I'm gonna make. All right guys, I'm just in my garage and I wanna show you the cedar planks that I picked up from Lowe's. So I had this one already from my Rhaphidophora hei climbing planks that I did. This is left over, and then I just picked up these two. I'll explain what those are for later, but so these are all cedar, and there are 2 different widths. So these wider boards are about 7 1/4, and this smaller board is about 5.5 inches wide. So these are the 3 pieces of wood that I'm going to use to create these square or rectangular plaques. And yeah, so I'm gonna start off with that information and kind of configure the entire space using masking tape first, and then I'll know what dimensions to cut these pieces of wood to. All right, guys, so I put up the masking tape, and this is the design that I have in mind at the moment. And I'm just thinking about the wood that I have and the dimensions of these 5 pieces, and I might need to get a little bit more wood to make this larger square, but I should have enough to do the other 4 pieces. So in this vlog, I think I'm going to go ahead, make those initial 4 pieces, get those 4 pieces stained and hopefully mounted, and then I will have to go back to Lowe's and pick up, I think, a little bit more wood unless I've miscalculated to make this final piece. What do you guys think on the spacing and the shapes and the design and the layout of all of this? I know I said that I wanted to keep some space here, those first 3, but I think this design, you know, really works. So just to give you a kind of an idea, like for example, this is one of the air plants that I have, and I'm thinking like something like that in that space there with one of the staghorn ferns above it. So kind of just putting it all together in my mind. But yeah, definitely comment down below. How do you think this is gonna look? How do you think it's gonna all turn out? Yeah, don't be shy. Let me know in the comments down below. So this piece here that I have on the left is the 5.5 inches wide, and this piece is actually already 3 feet tall. So that's gonna be that middle piece. And when I stack these 2 side by side, that gives me, I think, 14.5, and I'm going to cut 14.5, and that will give me the smaller square, and then I'll use the remaining of these pieces of wood to do kind of the top left and the bottom right, if that makes sense. Maybe I'll throw up an image of what it all looks like. And that means I'm out a little bit of wood to do the larger square, which are 3 of these stacked side by side and 16.5 inches tall. But I have enough materials here to make 4 of the 5 pieces. So yeah, that should work. And I'm actually going to be using these smaller pieces like this as a way to kind of screw the 2 pieces of wood together, and then that gives a little bit of a spacing behind the plaque so it can get mounted on the wall. And then yeah, so I hope this is making sense. I'm not sure if it is, but I'm gonna start assembling and sanding the pieces for the plaques, and then you guys will get a better idea of what I'm trying to accomplish. All right, guys, so the first thing I have to do for this piece is, before I can paint or stain it, I just have to sand it, get rid of all of these rough edges on, well, that one's not so bad, but sand this down on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. All right, so got rid of all of the rough edges. I'm not sure if you can see that. So this is the 5.5 by 3 foot piece. And what I'm going to do is cut this into, you know, 2 pieces as a little bit of a backing, one at the top and one at the bottom, and then screw these in. And that will give me a way to mount this plaque. Sorry, breathing in some sawdust here. That way it can give me some spacing, act as a spacer, but also where I will screw in the little doodad so that I can hook it up to the wall. And then once those two pieces have been cut down to size and screwed in and sanded and all of that jazz, then I can share with you guys the color that I'm gonna be adding to these plaques. All right guys, I'm just gonna use this circular saw to cut this smaller piece down to size, and I don't know if you can see this, but I actually measured out 5-inch pieces. The board is 5.5, so they'll be inset just ever so slightly. Don't forget to wear your safety goggles. Safety first. All right guys, so there are my little 2 pieces. Not perfect, but it should do. I'm just gonna quickly give these a sand and then do a little preset drill hole so that the screws go in nicely. And yeah, I'll show you what this first plaque looks like when these 2 pieces are attached. So as you can see, I drilled 2 holes in this piece, but not in that piece. And that means when I screw this 1-inch screw through, it will attach these 2 pieces of wood together, obviously, and secure them quite nicely. And then I'll do the same at the top. And then that basically will be the first plaque done. All right, guys, the screws are in, and assuming this all went properly, you shouldn't be able to see them, and they shouldn't be poking through on the other side. Ah, awesome. So you can't see anything on either side, which is great. And yeah, so that's basically a plaque there. So let me get out the stain that I got and you know, give that an application with the rag and see what that all turns out like. So this is the stain that I picked up. I went with a semi-transparent stain, and guys, I hope you don't think I'm crazy, but I went with black. Yeah, that does not look semi-transparent at all, that little sample. This right here is supposed to be a little sample of what's inside, and it kind of freaked out on the person that you know, mix this all together. This isn't a pre-mixed. They had to like add the, you know, add whatever to make it black. And she explained, the lady at Lowe's, that if I use a rag or cloth to apply the stain, that it should be more semi-transparent. So wish me luck. I'm gonna open this now, give a coat to this, and let's see what the heck happens. I'm so nervous. I really don't know. That is not semi-transparent. Oh my God, guys, that is so black. This is supposed to be a stain, not a paint. Freaking out. Yeah, let's see what happens. Oh my God, I really can't believe this. All right, let's hope. All right, let's see. First quick application. All right. All right, I'm gonna put the camera down and let's see what we end up with. But yeah, definitely, it's a little bit more transparent, especially with the rag. I'm gonna put the camera down because I just don't wanna mess this up. Be right back. All right, guys, made a little bit of mess on my hands, but here is the first piece done. Basically just did 1 coat. I'm really happy with how that's looking. So it shouldn't take too long to dry. Just make that, you know, oops. Didn't want those lines there, but you know, there's not much I can do. I actually think that that's some scratches on the wood from before, not actually my bad staining skills. But yeah, there's the first plaque done. Now basically I'm going to cut out all the other pieces, stain them, and then I'll show you how what I'm attaching to the backs to this so that I can attach it to the wall. I did go ahead and do the sides and the sides of that, just so you won't, you know, anything that will be visible should appear black. All right, guys. Oh, I guess I can take these off now. So I managed to get 4 of the 5 plaques done and I've mounted them. So I'm gonna show you that in just a second. Unfortunately, this vlog is going to have to be a to be continued because I need to get more wood to create that 5th and final plaque. And obviously, once I've made that, then I need to mount the different plants to the different plaques. So this is a part 1 of a hopefully a 2-part vlog. So again, that second part or the next part will have all of the plaques done and the plants mounted to them. But in the meantime, check out how this all turned out. All right, guys, so I left the tape up, and as you can see, the 4 finished plaques are mounted. You have to let me know what you think of the semi-transparent black on the cedar. How does that look up against the shiplap that's already up there? What do you think? Is it gonna be too dark with the plants on top of it? Let me know in the comments down below what you all think, and I'm really sorry this is a to be continued. You know, we'll just have to wait and see how this all turns out. I need to pick up some more supplies, like I said, but miss you guys so much. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Miss you guys already. Until the next one.